Hey guys, BB28 Bombers Gaming here with Destiny Rise of Iron episode 3. And so this episode is going to be focused on the lore of all the space diseases that players have been getting from the Crucible, from the Dust Palace Strike, and from more. So the only buff that I have so far is Brilliance 3.2, and I'm going to talk about these buffs and what they mean right now. So there's been a theory circling Bungie.net and Owl Sector, which shows how the 5 strings, or disease mutations, are spreading in lore on what the Vanguard has to say about it. The Scion Flares are suspected to be patient 0 of the disease, or the first people to contract it. There's further proof of this in this week's Nightfall when loading to strike the Dust Palace. Cade 6 says, "The Dust Palace is lost to us again, back in Cabal hands. Word is they've let Scion Flares out of their cages to dig around in the Central AI's cortex. Which means they really want what's buried in there. If Rasputin was protecting it, it's valuable. We need to flush those flares out. If you didn't catch it, I'll repeat a part of it again. Word is they've let Scion Flares out of their cages to dig around in the Central AI's cortex. They really want what's buried in there." So here's what we've got. The AI Warmind of Mars is Charlemagne. The Flares want what he is hiding. The Vanguard don't want us in the city until they find out what's going on. And we are left with why this stuff is here. Also, here's a fun fact. If you do end up visiting the Cosmodrome now, some of the light posts are glowing a deep red, related to Siva most likely. Moving on. Owl Sector is a map created by Bungie that shows how the different mutations of the disease have spread so far. There is also some lore to go along as well, which I'll explain later. The map is most likely fake, as most states and countries such as California, New York, and Florida have not been filled with the disease, while remote places where you wouldn't expect to see Destiny players are. The updates have been around 5 hours each, and it's been about 55 hours since I've posted this video. Now the following can be found on owlsector.bungie.net. It is a passage of Glory 2.1 and is a conversation that includes Ikora Ray from the Vanguard. So what you're telling me is that an unknown substance or virus or curse is spreading among our guardians. I wouldn't put it that way, but yes. What are you doing about it? We thought we'd ask you. It's not like anything we've seen before. We thought you were the hidden might now. Nothing in my experience resembles this. For what it's worth, our guardians aren't worried. It's a carnival out there. But you and I know. We do. Here's a passage from Splendor 2.6 between the Vanguard. So here's Cade 6 saying, "I don't see the harm in it. A little mysterious fun. Some ka-ching to our usual pew-pew. Didn't you take candy from strangers when you were newborn in delight?" Zavala said, "No, I did not." Ikora says, "This isn't candy, Cade. The Owl Sector reports a highly contagious armor systems override. If you'd stop clowning for a moment and think," and Zavala interrupts, "what protocols are the Owl Sector implementing?" The liaison asked me what to do. That's a new one. Both the Owl Sector and the Hidden have been unable to gain control of these overrides. I suggest quarantine as a stopgap. Lodging an objection based on previous experience. She's right though, it's the best option at the moment, the only option. In a later passage as well, the Vanguard are now aware of what is happening, including Cade knowing that people dance on his map all the time, but that's aside the point. Was that Saladin who just stormed out? He's been on edge lately. He demanded to know what the dust mite was. His guess is as good as ours. This most likely has to do with Siva. Since Saladin is the main protagonist for the Rise of Iron, this would only make sense that these particles or space mites, or whatever you like to call them, are definitely going to play a role with Siva. Now what happens if you get all 5 buffs? People have been saying that like certain things will happen, such as your screen kind of like randomly shaking at random times, or it will say like when you open your character, like I have mine open, armor system override. So I don't know about this yet, but I'm going to try and get all 5 buffs and then I'll make another video. But the link to Owl Sector is in the description below. I'm excited about the space stuff, and it most likely, if not certainly, will have to do with the Siva outbreak. Currently I have the Brilliance 3.2. But other than that, we're going to have to see. That's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. There will be Minecraft and Destiny content today and tomorrow, so thank you guys for watching.